What's good, everybody? Man, welcome to a Monday Candy Convos. Man, it's been a lot going on. Let's say we had to do the spur of the moment show, the special show. Man, what's up to everybody on the panel? Shout out to Chloe, C Prince. We got Yvonne with us. How y'all doing today?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well.
I'm ready to get into this. This is the Oscar edition.
Ooh.
Are you ready to get into it, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess it's about to go down. C Prince, how you feeling? How you feeling today, man?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Oh my God.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna get on into this. Like I said, shout out to everybody joining us tonight. Like I said, this is Kandid Konvos special edition on a Monday night. Let's say typically we do this show every Wednesday at 8:30, but we had some interesting things transpire starting this Sunday into Monday. And we had to get on here today to have this conversation. So I said I'm gonna drop this title. Then we're gonna get on into this show and then have this conversation. So yeah, let me drop this title real quick. So the title for tonight is Jada The Problem. So let me run that back. We're gonna run that back. Title for tonight is Jada The Problem. Okay. So let's get on into this. Since it's a special night, we're just gonna get right on into it. So I'm gonna put an image up. I said we'll have this conversation. I said I'm not running no videos because you know the Facebook police always messing with me, trying to shut down stuff. So we just gonna do it with an image this time just to get into this conversation. So let me do this, and let me do this. All right. So starting on Sunday, had an event go down. We had the Oscars. And you know, I'm sure everybody is aware of the infamous situation or infamous incident that took place between Will Smith and Chris Rock, based on a joke by Chris Rock with regard to Jada Pinkett Smith. He made a joke about a GI, I think it was, what was it? GI Jane. And they were making reference, or people were saying that he was making reference to her bald head, you know, because I guess if you're not aware, so my understanding, she has alopecia. So she wears or has been wearing her head bald because of the alopecia. So of course, you know, Will walked up to the stage, slapped Chris Rock. And then after that, you know, he said a couple other things, you know, on the lines of keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Said it twice. One, you know, first time was a little quieter. Second one was a yell. He let it all hang out. Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. And at that point, you know, Chris Rock kind of kept it cool, tried to keep the show moving, but he clearly was stunned by what had happened. So, of course, you know, this went viral. Man, the post started blowing up yesterday. It went all the way through the morning. Folks woke up this morning and it was still going strong, and it's been going strong all day long. I think at this point, you know, Chris Rock released an apology statement, which everybody expected. That's the token response to things these days. And then I want to say not too long ago after that, Will Smith released one on his Instagram as well. So now we got that. So I want to talk about it, right? Because I've seen so many different perspectives on this particular situation. And I've seen a million different angles people were coming from on this particular situation. So I'm gonna drop this image for now. I'm gonna drop that down. And just for anybody who wants to join us on the show, I'm gonna throw the panel link up. Here's the link to join us on the panel if you want to. Let's say you have the ability to cut your camera off if you choose, if you don't want to be seen, but we can just hear your voice. We definitely welcome you to cut your camera on. It you know, increases or improves the engagement of the conversation. Also, we are live on YouTube and Facebook, so definitely check us out, like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, let's keep it like that. So let's get on into this. So we got Steve Prince, we got Yvonne, we got Chloe. man, who wanna drop their perspective first? I feel like I need to start on C Prince. I feel like I need to start on Yvonne. What should I do? You know what? Let
the women go first.
All right, we're gonna let one of the ladies go first. Chloe, Yvonne, either one of y'all want to take a first stab at it?
Chloe can start. Go ahead, Chloe.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm gonna start by saying this. This is just my opinion. This is not the opinion of the show. I'm not saying it's anybody else's opinion, but I personally I believe that it was scripted. I believe that it was staged.
Okay.
I just feel like there are a few circumstances around how it happened and the reaction by Chris, and even the almost delayed reaction by Will. I just feel like it was staged, and so for that reason, I'm not emotionally connected or tied to this situation, but I do feel like it needs to be addressed because I feel like there's some nuggets that we can learn from this situation. And I feel like there's some takeaways that have absolutely nothing to do with the slap specifically. So I'm here for that. I'm here for that conversation because there's some stuff to be learned from this that can be applied in everyday life because this was an interesting situation. And honestly, this is not far-fetched from something that could happen in real life to you and I, right? Maybe it wouldn't be an award show, but this is something that can happen, like the dynamic, the female male dynamic, the protector, that whole dynamic, that whole thing. That's a conversation that needs to be had from a different perspective. So I'm here for that. I'm really here for that because now is Jada the problem? So I'm gonna give you a short answer and then we can talk about it. I know we're gonna break it down, but short answer is yes. Jada is absolutely the problem, and I'm sure by the end of the conversation, you guys will understand where I'm coming from on this. But to give you the short answer, yes, she the problem. First of all, the alleged slap. And I'm gonna say alleged because I still think that this was a script. I mean, we're dealing with comedians and actors here. This is a scripted show. The Oscars is a scripted show. This joke that Chris told was a part of his script. I just know they don't allow just random things to happen like this. And then the fact that they let this man continue for the rest of the show after he had basically quote unquote, and I'm using quotes, assaulted somebody and stayed there and got consoled and comforted. And by the end of the show, actors were like, oh, he did the right thing. He's right. We're going to end on the right note. This is about love and all of this. And I'm like, y'all just like this. Meanwhile, Oscars is back there like, yes, run up the check. Because we've been having viewership problems. This it right here. We need to just put the black folks out in the front and let them act a fool. I mean, there's so many jewels that could come out of this situation that I think people are looking past because all they seeing is this slap. And I'm like, the slap was really just the tip of the iceberg. So I'm ready to get into it. I want to hear what Yvonne got to say. I want to hear what Prince got to say because for me, I'm coming from a different angle. So I'm not even really focusing on the slap.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, I think we can agree that the Oscars definitely was when that went down and looked at them ratings. I know what they said. They knew what it was. All right, so we got C Prince, we got Yvonne. Who want to get it off their chest next? I see Prince keeps shaking his head. I'm gonna let Yvonne go. You ready, Yvonne? You want to say something?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I just want to say that I feel that it could have been handled differently if it is real, because like Chloe said, it could be scripted. Just because of the audience that you're serving at that time. I mean,
Right.
they're already looking for us to do something that's not ordinary.
Right.
So for you to do that on that level really shows that if it is true that you don't have any self-control.
Right.
Like Ricky Smiley said in his broadcast, he was like, even if it was like, if I thought it was a problem, I'm definitely going to speak with you, but it's not going to be on this stage. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna get up, but I'm going to the right or to the left, and I'm gonna meet you backstage. We can
Right.
talk back behind me. I just felt it could have been handled so much better. You know, I've seen a lot of people, yeah, that's right. You know, you stand up for your wife, and then it definitely could have been, you know, and life is about perception. What are you trying to convey to us by doing that? You know,
Right.
it was just unsettling. The whole ordeal was unsettling. But yeah, it definitely warrants some type of action from the Academy Awards. I already said, I was like, they might take his Oscar back or make him pay, or they're going to have to do some type of repercussions for that if it's not scripted, you know,
Right.
like Chloe said.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I agree with that, Lester. They definitely would have to do something now. You know, of
Yeah,
course, we don't know what that's going to look like, but they would
right.
have to do something. Okay, I can
Exactly.
feel that. I feel that. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yep.
See Prince. See Prince. I see it on your face, man. I see it on your face.
Bruh.
Don't get it off the chest, man.
This is going to be a good one.
Go ahead and get it off the chest, man. I know you want to. Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. Forget the Oscar. Hand down. Let's forget them first. We ain't even talk about this. Let's talk about this man. I don't even want to call him a man. This chump said he was defending his wife's honor by smacking another man for making a joke. Now, let's look at the history. How many other people talked about his wife that he smacked? So you can't tell me this is about him protecting his wife's honor, because guess no one got away with this. You know what I'm saying? This is about his pride. He tired of people thinking that he's a joke. So he picked his time and his opportunity, because guess what? He wouldn't have ran up on LL. He wouldn't have ran up on no 50 Cent. He wouldn't have ran up on nobody else. He picked the opportunity to make his statement that he's this tough guy. Understand this. He is probably right now one of the biggest hypocrites in the world. He talks peace. I don't cuss on my records. I don't do nothing. Let's talk about black love. Man, you showed us your black love. You showed us your true self last night. You selfish prick. That's how I feel. All hands down. I'm going to use the words. Look, this is not the view of the show. This view is of Charlie Prince. I'm going to tell you. Understand this. They up there giving this man, like, I don't understand how these people are saying he protected his wife. Because let it be any other rapper, y'all have been like, take it from him. This Ice Cube did something like this, let's take it. You know what I'm saying? This is his Eve or something, let's take it. This is how these black actors act, or these rappers that's acting. So guess what? The only reason why, if you looked at the tweets after it, they thought it was funny. They thought it was funny, like, oh, this is all cool. And guess what? It wasn't us laughing at us. Hands down. Look at the monkeys act up. I hate to say it like that, but guess what? You know, the first concert I ever went to in life was a Will Smith concert. He did his thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, man. He was there with a bunch of hardcore rappers. I'm like, man, I don't want to see this clown. But guess what? He held his own, doing his own thing. Now he's on TV talking about these rappers living real life, shooting and stuff, and criticizing them. And look what he does. And then he not only smacked this man, he turned around and smirked at the camera like he was proud of himself. But guess what? You ain't do that to the man who made a song about getting it. I ain't gonna mention his name neither. You ain't talking about all them fools that clowned you after that, talking about this is an entanglement. You ain't say nothing to near one of them. But a man makes a simple joke about G.I. Jane, but guess what? If you think about it, Janet would have killed a role like that. Let's be truthful. You know what I'm saying? Not because of her, because she's an actress. She knew how to carry herself. So guess what? If they did do a movie like that, they'd have been like, oh, Chris Rock's a genius. He put an idea on people's head and they ran with it. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? Sometimes you miss your opportunities and stuff. And this is one of the opportunities that he missed, but to show that he was man enough to go talk to, man. Like he said, I chose violence. Guess what? I don't even want to hear you say anything about anybody else who chooses violence, because guess what? Most of these kids in these projects, they ain't got no choice about no violence. They live violence. You chose violence. So guess what? Don't sit there and preach no more about black love and family love and all that stuff, because you a fraud. Hands down. Let's keep it real.
Okay. You want to say something, Chloe?
Well, I mean, I guess looking at it from my lens, which is the lens that this was staged. That's why it was the smirking. That's why it was the laughing before he even went up there to do it. Like that was why Chris Brown. Well, I mean, this could have been a situation with Chris Brown, but not Chris Rock. That's why it was almost like he was anticipating. He didn't make a move to do anything when Will walked up there. It felt very planned. And Will's follow-up acceptance speech, how he tried to type like, oh, I've been called to, to be a vessel of love after I just smacked somebody up, and he tried to bring it back into the whole Richard, Williams thing, and how he had to fight and protect. And I'm just like, this just feels so dramatic. And I watched a clip of the behind the scenes, like what happened during the commercial break after the smack happened. And, everybody's all consoling him, and, Denzel is all consoling him, and, oh, I love you, and all of this crap. And I'm just like, this is just the fakest, phoniest production that you can really put on. That's why Chris Rock is not going to press charges. He never was, because first of all, they all belong to the same group. They roll with the same crew, and they friends. So let's just be honest right here. This whole thing was a show. You know who got duped in the whole matter? Us. But putting that to the side for a moment. I just think, I had to do the Umar on y'all. This man has been trying to get an Oscar for years. He's done major motion pictures, in my opinion, that would have actually been by now earned him this award. But he's been snubbed so many times, right? This is why him and his wife didn't go to the 2016 awards, which is when Chris Rock told the first joke about her, right? So
yes, that's right.
Right. So this is something that's like, this is not, first of all, new. This is something that has happened before. But what I'm saying is, y'all don't find this suspicious that this man smacked somebody up at the award show and then walked away with the top honor? Like, y'all, you guys know they play these games, right? Like in Hollywood, they play these games. Basically, he humiliated himself. Chris Rock got humiliated. And then he went on to win an award. And I don't care how many investigations the Oscars said they're going to do in this event. They not going to make him give it back. Because basically, he done earned it. If he ain't earned it playing Richard Williams, he dang sure earned it slapping Chris Rock on live TV for some ratings.
Hold on.
They play this game, y'all. They play this game, and we just spectators. So to sit that down for a moment, because I really do think that this whole incident was all cap, but to sit that down for a moment and pick up what's really the story and what's really the tea is that how y'all feel about the fact that for the last, I'll just say 3 or 4 years, I can't even really pinpoint when it exactly began. Probably right around the time when she started doing her Red Table Talk show. Now, this was a couple that you could get no dirt on them, no solid dirt. Everything was just rumors and speculation. You could never get no confirmation. You could never get no real concrete anything on them. They were private. They kept their lives as private as they possibly could. Even their kids, they were doing certain things, but you really couldn't get anything on these guys. All of a sudden, within the last 3 or 4 years, like I said, and I might be off with my time, but all of a sudden, it's been one embarrassment after another embarrassment after another embarrassment, and it's all been on Will. Because let's just be honest. I happen to like Jada as an actress. I had no problem with her. But let's just be honest. She's B-list at best. And I'm being generous. Will is the relevant person in this relationship. His career is the relevant, career in this relationship. Nobody will be talking about Jada Pinkett if she wasn't Jada Pinkett Smith. Period. And this woman has been embarrassing this man, embarrassment after embarrassment after embarrassment for the last few years. All she does is go on that show and talk about him. All she does, this man sat across from her on her show while she talked about her affair with a man half her age. And I'm sitting over here like, y'all want to talk about the smack, but there's so much trauma and dysfunction in this relationship. That smack, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that smack really wasn't meant for Chris Rock. That's all I'm saying. I'll yield the mic and give somebody else a chance.
Yeah, you're going to have to give it back to me because I'm about to knock that out the park. Because guess what? I don't know no man. And you look at his posture. He got his hands in his pocket and he's jerking out like, uh-oh. Because you know what? Like you said, they was friends. So guess what? He didn't expect that. Honestly, he didn't expect that. Because if he'd expect that, because he didn't just smack him, you know what I'm saying? He tried to take his head off. You know what I'm saying? There's a smack and there's like, I'm trying to take the head off smack. He tried to take the man's head off. And guess what? You got to give I got to give him props because he kept it professionalism. He didn't go out of character. Even though it was a serious matter, he kept it together because, like I said, if he'd have struck him, this titles would have been changed. It wouldn't be about the smack. It'd have been like two black men acting up, and that's why we don't give him the Oscars. So you got to think about it. If he gets smacked, you got to give him the props for, because guess what? It couldn't have been me. I'd have whooped his butt back to his wife. And it ain't going to be no entanglement. How you like me now? You know what I'm saying? Kumo D all over him. I'd have beat the bricks off of him. Hands down.
Oh, my God.
Hands down. I ain't playing because, like I said, he took advantage of their friendship and got that close to smack that man because he didn't think he was going to do that because they friends. Let's be truthful. Because if me and Quay get in a fight, Quay ain't going to expect me. We having words. He ain't going to expect me to go up there and smack him. He think I'm going to come to talk to him man to man. Let's be real about that. And, and the thing about it, you see all these black women talking about he protected his woman. Man, shut up. He ain't protected her before this. Shut up. I don't want to hear he protected his family and stuff. Bull crap. He ain't done nothing. This is what you call a man with pride issues. Hands down. His pride was hurt. He gets talked throughout the word. They know him as the Fresh Prince, the dancing. Let's do the Carlton type brother. But guess what? Now he gonna pick on somebody else because he took advantage of his friendship. Hands down. I call it a punk move. I don't care what anybody say. They might like, oh, Charlie Prince is wrong. No, I'm dead right. Because guess what? You ask any man, if your homeboy walks up to you or somebody you call a friend walk up to you because you made a joke, you ain't expecting to be smacked in the face. Y'all figure like, hey, man, you need to cut that mess out. And then he turn around and smoke and smirk, and then he goes back to his chair. He ain't want no smoke. He wanted to make a statement. He wanted to make a statement. Keep my name out there. Wow. I said it, and he trying to look all mean. Why didn't you say it to his face when you smacked him? Hands down, because you knew he wasn't going to do nothing. Because you knew he's professional in his craft. You knew it. So you took advantage. He was an opportunist, coward, punk. And I say, I don't care.
So let's okay. So let's touch something. Let's see. We got some viewers with us right now. So I want to touch something that I've been seeing all day, right? So I've been seeing a lot of ladies comment that Will was defending his wife. I've seen a lot of ladies comment that if this was my man, I would have took him home last night and took care of him. I've seen a lot of ladies saying this is the type of man I want. And at the same time, I've also seen a lot of ladies say I wouldn't want my man acting like this. I've seen a lot of ladies say this was embarrassing. So I've seen a plethora of things from the ladies with regard to what Will did in his actions. So I want to present that question. What does this really look like? So question to the ladies. Um, are you looking for a man to do what Will did last night? And what I mean by that is, are you looking for a man to walk up and smack somebody for, and I guess the premise was Chris Rock disrespected Jada? Or are you looking for a man to go address the situation? Because those are two different things, right? So to see Prince's point earlier, Will waited till he got back to his seat to talk about keeping my wife's name out of your mouth, but yet he didn't say that while he was in Chris's face. So some of the things don't add up. And I'm just gonna be real from the male perspective. As I watch the video, some things don't add up, right? So I want to present that first question, and we're gonna keep going to the ladies. Did that get y'all excited to see Will in action last night, or were y'all looking at Will like, what the heck was that? Like, nah, you ain't got to protect me or uphold my honor like that. What was y'all real take on that from the woman to man perspective?
Well, the first thing I thought about was you're never gonna be Tupac. Because he gone. You can't bring. So let's just bring that to the forefront because that's the real issue.
Right.
We can get into it, but you're not going to be him. I mean, I feel that he has this shadow over him, and so that's another piece of how he wants to be personified. He wants to be looked
Tough
at
guy.
as an enforcer, so to speak.
Right. I get that.
Now speak on it, sis, because this woman. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Chloe. Yes.
This woman, how my man say it, y'all best friend, Kevin Samuels, how he say it? You know how y'all best friend is. He said that she imprinted on Tupac. She imprinted on him. Okay, so like on some soulmate type stuff. And not that I get into the whole soulmate type thing, but whatever type of connection that they had is very valid. It's very real to the point where this woman, when he passed, like, really somebody, he had to send her a bunch of flowers and this, and she was grieving, and they friends. So get you and grieve for your friend, but this felt very different. This grieving process felt very different. And that for me just goes all the way back to the question. The question is Jada the problem? Don't you think it'd be a problem for a man if he knows that he's always going to just be in the shadow of a man? And this man is dead at this point. And he's still in that man's shadow as far as his wife's feelings is concerned. And that for me would have to bother you. Then to have this very public, affair take place while they're still married, whatever your arrangement is, she's still your wife. Everyone knows she's your wife. And she basically had this very public affair with a man half her age, which means he's half your age. Like, I just those types of things, I would imagine. I'm not a man, but as a woman, those types of things would bother me. They would be a problem for me. So I would have to imagine that these things would be a problem for him as well. So now that doesn't mean that I'm putting it all on him, like he don't have no responsibility or no accountability. I'm not saying nothing like that. But y'all know I'm not here to talk about the smack because I know the smack was fake. So I'm not about to debate that because I already know what's up. But as far as the mindset behind it, how we get here, how we got here, I'm all about talking about that. Let's talk about how we got here and let's talk about where we go from here. I'm not really interested in talking about this, me personally. I'm not interested in talking about the smack because I already know it was a cap. But at the same time, it's the mindset for me.
Yeah,
And
no, I
there
understand
was
that.
more behind that. There was more behind this moment. Like let's play for a moment like it was real. There's more behind um that one joke that would lead a man to step outside of the character that he's been trying to portray, or the personality that he's been giving us. In order for him to step outside of that in that forum in that way after all this time, like y'all said, this ain't the first time somebody that made a joke about his wife. And this wasn't even a worse joke. I've heard way worse. So that's why I'm saying, y'all, with all of that, all of those factors, it just, you have to just really think about that thing, right? Like what is this really about? And what would make a man go to that point? Any man, even not just Will Smith, what would make a man get to that point? And I think if you look at a lot of the stuff that's been happening lately between the two of them, around their family, and just some of those things that have happened, I have to say that there's a common denominator here. And I think we all know who it is. Now, as for me feeling like, would I want my man to respond in that way? I feel like I do want my man, if this was a real situation, I would want my man to address it. I'm not saying I would want him to address it in that way though. I felt like if Will wanted to address it, you know what I'm saying? I felt like him saying what he said after he smacked him was plenty. Like, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Like, to me, that could have came before you laid the paws on this man. Like, you really didn't have to get physical with this man. If you was really just trying to defend her honor, you could have made that clear. Or, like Yvonne said, I could have pulled you to the side after the show and hollered at you right quick. But I don't necessarily believe that it had to be done in that way. So for me, no, I don't think you have to do it that way.
Okay, I'm gonna come to you, C Prince. Let me just read this comment. Sandra Hayes says, "Not me. I would have tried to stop him from doing this." We appreciate that, Sandra Hayes. Go ahead, C Prince.
See, this is the thing. We not gonna give him no excuse what happened prior, because guess what? He chose to stay. He knew what he was dealing with, so we can't give him an excuse for anything that happened prior to this event. We can't do it. That don't make sense, because guess what? The one thing we're going to do is own our mistakes. Because guess what? If nothing happened, he'd have been up there holding that Grammy, like, with no tears now, and celebrating. Since something happened, love had make you do the strangest things. No, man, this ain't love. This is pride. This is your pride, tired of people making you the punchline of a joke. That's it. It's pride. So guess what? Anything prior, I don't even want to hear it. Because guess what? You ain't handled it then. The only thing you handled now is you walked up on somebody that you knew wasn't going to fire back. Hands down. So guess what? Women, make the excuses for this man. Because guess what? It don't make sense to me. It really don't make sense to me, because how can you say he's defending his wife and all these years he's been dragged through the mud? So he stood up one time and he's the Superman. He's the Superman. He stood up one time. Explain that.
Yeah, and some of the other, I will say this as well. Some of the other comments that I've been reading today, were on the lines of, and that's why the show is titled tonight, is Jada the Problem. Some of the other comments I read today, from some females for that matter, were saying that, Will should be tired of defending her. Like, they were just like, how many more times is Jada going to disrespect Will, especially in the public? Yep, it's been an entanglement, aka an affair. It's just been, his they sex life. Like, I mean, she just don't hold the punches back. Like, she just been giving it to Will this whole time. And and like I said, at the end of the day, Will is a man. So I'm like, at some point, I mean, you can grin and bear it, but it's like at some point this stuff is gonna bottle up. And like I said, at the end of the day, I see a major issue with that. You know, I feel like if Will was out here publicly putting Jada on blast like that, I feel like the ladies would be dogging Will.
Absolutely.
Like, that's just my opinion. I feel like the ladies would be dogging Will if he was on the internet talking about him and his wife's sex life. I feel like they would be dogging Will if he was on here like, yeah, I was sleeping with Willow's buddy behind your back at the crib while we was trying to help her. Like, I feel like ladies would be dogging Will right now. But I don't see it happening the other way. So it really does. It does make you wonder, is Jada the problem?
Yes.
Like, and now we're at a point where, we're looking at the video because we all saw the same video. We're looking at a joke being told. We're looking at Will laughing. That's the other thing that a lot of people keep overlooking. In the video, Will was laughing at the jokes. And then the camera panned away, and something must have happened at that point. Couple things. Either Jada said something. I'm assuming either Jada gave him a look, or either the producer was like, all right, camera action. And then
it was the look. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't her face.
It had
her face. He was laughing. He was laughing too, until he looked over at her face and she was cringing. And so that sparked him to do what he did. And for me, because I like to stay really professional, I would be thinking like, how are you hitting him going to impact our ability to make money? I'm just some people, you want to be blackballed like Monique. I mean, I'm thinking about the big picture of how that just goes back to how he could have handled it differently.
Right.
Because we all know that we are not in control of what happens in these movies, right?
Right.
Yes, we have some, really high profile actors, and yes, we have some really good people making films. However, the people that gaslight, or should we say green light, these projects, Steve Harvey talk about it all the time. You can go in there and say what you want to say. If they don't green light it, you back out the door. ABC, NBC, all of these networks and stuff like that, these motion pictures, we all know who's in control of these people and who can make the decisions to either let you go or cancel you, because we really big in the cancel culture.
Right. Right. No,
yeah, but my thing is, we'll see, like, I agree with you, but I'm sorry, Bon, I agree with you, but my problem is, why wasn't she okay?
Yeah.
Why does she not think about that? Was she going on her Red Table Talk show and she's really talking about business that really could embarrass him and really put him out there in a way that this man has a reputation.
Yeah.
Right? That he needs to keep up. Like, he's making all the money really at this point.
Yeah.
And he has a reputation he's supposed to keep up. And you going on a show talking about your sex life, and you have very public affairs with people. Like, this is not the way you should be carrying yourself if you're trying to protect what you guys have built together.
Yes.
If you're trying to protect what you guys have built together, you don't carry yourself that way. Just like he shouldn't be taking a gamble by thinking that he can go smack somebody and nothing's going to happen. Like, it's reckless behavior on both sides. And really, I'm at the point where I don't think they're good for each other. Like, I really don't think they're good for each other anymore. Like, I mean, we have an affair, very public affairs. We having, and then she talks all the time about how at one point they had got to their marriage where he didn't even want to be with her no more. He like was done. And I'm like, sis, bruh, like the writing on the wall for y'all. Let it go. Like, wrap it up. Like this, like a bad movie. I just like, let me off this bus. Like, I'm almost tired of hearing about y'all because you weren't thinking about your career, and she hasn't been thinking about your career either.
Yeah, and it makes him. It puts him in a very vulnerable position as a man, which is not. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I
I'm gonna
agree.
say this.
Yeah.
That if you think about in Hollywood, the black male actors, there's only a few black male actors that you be like, hey, look at him. And he was one. Even though he was going through that mess, he was one of them people like, hey, he's a strong black man. Look at him. You know what I'm saying? Normally, I don't normally say no black man. I say men. But I'm going to say it this time, a strong black man. Will Smith, they were looking at him. Entrepreneur, doing his thing, take care of his family and stuff. And guess what he was doing? He was winning. Through it don't matter what came in front of him, what obstacles, he stood up as a black man and led by example. So now you got to ask yourself now, is this the example that you want your kids to follow? Or your children? Because guess what? He took away from that. He actually took away from that because guess what? He chose violence, the thing that he always talked about, that's not a way to handle something. And then he went, I'm not saying he's not human, but you advocated that everything could be talked about. These are your words, not mine. Because I don't believe in everything to be talked about. Sometimes you got to put them paws on somebody. That's how I feel. That's my opinion. But he was saying you can talk everything out. Let's be peaceful. Let's show love and stuff like this. But yet and still, the only thing you prove, it don't matter how much money you make, no matter how much you make of tell people you diss, your true self will present itself. Because guess what? He's man. But guess what? Everybody's entitled to their mistake. But guess what? This mistake is going to overshadow everything he's done in life. Because guess what? If they take that Oscar from him, it don't matter what he did. It don't matter what he deserved. They always going to remember this one point when he broke and he couldn't contain himself. And guess what? He didn't break against the Hollywood. He broke against his own kind. He portrayed violence on his own kind in front of the world. And guess what? We went from saying, hey, we want equality. We want to be the best we can be. George Floyd, you remember? We went there. The world recognized him as a man. We men now, everybody seen this man. Now, you supposed to got these two men that can't resolve each other, and you're going to talk about we need to get better policing and violence against us. And guess what? The fools with money came and keep themselves together. They ain't got nothing to be mad about. And acting up in front of the world. This is the example they sent through the world of black people with money.
I thought that.
We fickle though, Prince. Like, we're fickle as a community. We're pretty fickle. We'll be canceling him for a little while. Some of us, because most of us, a lot of people don't even really see no problem with what he did. So I mean, we talking about it, but a lot of people don't. But especially the ladies is feeling it. I mean, I know it's a cap, so I'm not even getting emotionally involved with that part of the process. But I mean, we fickle. So he apologized. Chris apologized. I do not for one second think they're gonna take his Oscar. I mean, they could if they feel like, if they feel like the public is leaning in that direction, they gonna lean with wherever direction the public lean to. But I really don't believe they have any intentions of taking his Oscar because I believe it was scripted and staged. I believe it did what it needed to do. Here we are talking about the Oscars when A couple years ago, nobody would have cared. So, I mean, I think we have to keep some perspective. Just like you said, this is black man against black man. You're right. If this had been black man against a white man, then he probably would have got that Oscar taken from him. But this ain't.
Right.
You have to remember,
Right.
they don't care. They don't care about us fighting each other. They never have. They don't care about us doing it in the middle of the streets in our neighborhoods, and they not gonna care. It's not gonna carry the same weight on the show. The only reason why I can see them actually moving to do something like, taking the Oscar back is if people raise up enough stink. But I don't even know if that's gonna happen, because I feel like it's a split decision. People don't really know how they feel about it. And with Jada's alopecia, people are leaning towards sympathizing with her because she got a condition. So they feeling like, oh, she was a victim and Will Smith might be justified in this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what I'm saying is, we have to keep perspective, because at the end of the day, like you said, these are two very wealthy men. Will Smith is going to go on to keep doing what he's doing. It's not going to mess up his career. I'm not even gonna go there because it's not. He gonna go quiet for a little while and whatever, but it's not gonna mess up his career. This particular thing won't mess up his career. He'll move on. He'll get past it. Especially because I think that it was staged and I think it was on purpose. I personally believe it was a humiliation ritual. And Hollywood does these often. So I mean, for me personally, I don't expect really anything serious to come from it. That's why he was already ready to apologize by the time the speech came. He already had tried to look, the actor that he is, he already had put a script together of what he was gonna say. I mean, we just have to keep some perspective. For us, I feel like we need to take these opportunities as educational moments and really pull the jewels out of them, right? And find a way to take these types of situations and capitalize off of them. At the end of the day, like women, all those women saying, protect Black women at all costs. And I just want to say, for me, one jewel that we could take out of this is, okay, Black women, you want Black men or men in general to protect Black women at all costs. Then I want to see that same energy for Black men. Jada has not had that energy for Will. She has not. She has not worried about protecting his career. She has not worried about protecting his reputation. She has not. And I really don't care what nobody else says. I'm not going to debate it because the facts are there. You can see it. This woman, time after time, every opportunity she's had to talk about her marriage, it has been in a negative light towards Will, while she makes herself look and presents herself a certain way. So she has not cared about protecting him in the way that he needed protecting, which is protecting his career, protecting his livelihood, protecting his reputation. But a Black woman will turn around and say, protect Black women at all costs. And it's like, but at what cost, right? Like at what cost? At a cost to the man, at a cost to his life, at a cost to his career, at a cost to, at what? That's why you have some women saying, no, I don't want him to do that for me. I wouldn't want him to have to do that for me, right? Because no, it shouldn't be that. This should not have came down to that choice. This was not that moment. So for me, the jewel is, let's really take a look at the situation. In every scenario, in every situation, should we be looking for a Black man to protect us? Or are there some circumstances and some situations, or are there some things as women we need to be more mindful of? And if we want to be protected, which we absolutely should be, I'm not saying we shouldn't, then is there some protecting that we should be doing as well on our end? Because this is not a one-way street, right? So, I mean, personally, I just feel like there's jewels here that should be taken away from this. And while we focusing solely on the slap, I think there's just more here than that. That's more valuable.
Yeah, I would agree. You want to say something, Mickey? Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say something.
Go ahead, C Prince.
See, there's jewels here, but them jewels are learning lessons for like other topics about how not to be in an unhealthy relationship. To be honest, them the jewels. And even was a stage. If your theory is saying it was staged, what you're saying in there is both of them men are fake and frauds. That's what you're saying. And as a man, I can't sit there and say, "Hey, man," and Quay, you gonna feel me on this? I don't think no other man gonna let him. I mean, unless the check is right, and this ain't no movie. But you know what I'm saying?
This whole thing is a game.
Listen to this. It might look staged, you know what I'm saying, because the way the Will walked off of it. But guess what? Just because one don't know what he's gonna do and the other one don't know, you know what I'm saying? Will put on a good act. I give it to him. He put on a good act, but I don't think Chris was part of the act.
So hold on, C Prince. Hold on. So let me debate that with you real quick, right? So let me tell you what I saw, right? So I'm sure you know. Listen, we got some viewers with us right now, right? So let me tell you what I saw. So there's a couple things that stood out to me that just did not make sense, right? So when Will walked up on stage and he walked up to Chris Rock, okay? Chris Rock was standing there with his hands behind his back. That ain't right. Because see, at the end of the day, any dude in his right mind, if you've got a guy, I don't care if it's your boy, if you got a guy walking up to your face, walking into your personal space, a couple things are going to happen. First of all, you ain't going to have your hands behind your back because you're going to be expecting something to happen at that point if he walks into your personal space. Either he about to shake your hand, either he about to dap you up, he about to hug you, or he about to knock you out. It's only a couple things that's about to happen. So the fact that Chris Rock was standing there with his hands still behind his back when Will walked up on him after he had just said, that didn't add up. Because see, Prince, even if you walked up on me close like that, bro, I'm going to be expecting you to dap me up or something. So I'm going to have my hands ready to go already. I'm not going to have them behind my back. So that was the first thing that did not make sense to me. Two, after Will hit this guy, and I still don't even know if it was a full hit. That might have been a WWE sound effect. I still can't tell yet. But after Will hit this guy, Chris still stood there. Now that right there, if that wasn't staged, that probably took all that man had in him. Because at the end of the day, St. Prince, you know, if a cat, at the end of the day, I think a fella would be able to take a dude punching him versus slapping him. Because when somebody gets slapped, that's like the ultimate disrespect. That's almost as bad as spitting in somebody's face. That's why I think a lot of times, you know, when you see ladies wanting to smack a dude, there's something behind that. Because a punch and a smack is not the same. They don't even mean the same thing. So at the end of the day, I feel like if Will was really defending his wife, and I said, and I can't speak for Will, this is my opinion. If Will was really going to defend his wife, he would have socked my man. Ain't gonna be no slapping. So let me just put that out there. So just seeing those couple things, there's a couple things to me that just didn't line up with this whole situation. I'm gonna leave it at that for right now. Go ahead, C Prince.
All right, I'm gonna give it to you like this. He walked up on his man. Look at the place they at. So you wouldn't think there's gonna be no violent act at the Grammys. You know what I'm saying? You don't think there's gonna be no. So he wasn't even thinking a threat because this is Will Smith walking up on me. So why should I be in a defense mode? We're on live TV. What's the chances of me getting smacked on national TV? Well, we know now it's a good chance you might get smacked now. We know that now. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
we know that now. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. And guess what? Smacking a man, listen to this. At one time in my life, I was on the worldwide smacking tour. I wouldn't punch him. I would smack fire from him.
Oh, my God.
You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, that is the most disrespecting thing you could do to a man. I could beat you up. But if I smack and take your face and walk away with it in my hand, you know, and that's why I will smirk, Because he's like, I just smacked the dude on national TV and everybody gonna have the meme of this. He was thinking like, yo, I just proved my gangster. I smacked the man on live TV. Hands down.
Bruh.
Hands down. You know, think about it. Because like I'm telling you, when I was smacking people, I was like, whoo, I was happy about that. I hate to say it like that. But all jokes aside, the thing about the most disturbing thing is, and this is where I say, when he smacked him, he immediately turned away. If you looked how fast he turned away, he smacked him. He basically hit and ran. And then he went and sat in his seat. Like he was like, I'm the big dog now. You know what I'm saying? He feeling himself. Because guess what? If you ain't smacked a man before, that's one of the best feelings in the life. I'm not endorsing smacking people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not endorsing it. But he walked off, and like I said, and he sat down there, and he yelled the words. But guess what? Because I think if he'd have stood there, we wouldn't be talking about a smack. We'd be talking about a fight. Because he walked off real quick. He hit and ran. This is a drive-by smacking.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though, C Prince. That's why I said some of this stuff doesn't line up. Because even in this situation, right? So if you walk up to a dude and smack him, the first response or the first thought that's in your mind is, let me get ready for this response. Because ain't too many dudes about to just let you randomly smack them and not return them hands. Like, that's just not even normal. Like I said, Will from Philadelphia. So I know he know better than that. So the fact that he slapped this man and just walked off, yeah, this just ain't, some of this stuff ain't making sense for me, man.
Listen to me, bro. I'm gonna tell you, bro. If you got that good smack, there's a pause in that man's. You gonna smack the whole soul out of him. He gonna pause up like, huh? And then you go like this. And you know what I'm saying? You go like this. He don't want no more after that. I promise you. If you smack somebody real good, especially a man, you stole his whole soul. I'm telling you. So guess what? I don't think he stole Chris Rock's soul. I think he just kept his composure, which I could commend. Because you see in his eyes. If we wasn't on TV, this would be a whole different ball game. You know what I'm saying? You can see it in his eyes. So the composure he kept, because like I said, it couldn't have been me. Shoot, that'd have been the last time the Oscars been viewed in the United States and the world, because it'd have been a council call. Because I'm telling you, I'd have dog walked him. Hands down. Everybody like, oh no, you good, man. I would have, man, check this out. I'd have beat him so bad, my soul would have beat me up. That's how bad I would have beat him. I'm telling you, I would have beat him for smacking me like that. I promise you.
Oh man, you crazy, man. You crazy.
And while we seeing all of this stuff, they done went to the after party and had a drink and some cigars.
Now I'm sure that took place. I saw some footage of.
They talked about how it was a great show and it went off just like Will Packard, the dude who directed the Oscars that night, planned it to go off.
Yeah, no, I can feel that. I can feel that. So shout out to Nikki Nicole. She said it's different because it's live TV. Basically, he couldn't have done too much.
Because Chris Rock ain't gonna mess with his money. He always tell you he'll go and call the police. You know what I'm saying? I ain't the smartest, but guess what? He ain't pressing charges. Because why should he have to press charges?
He not.
A district attorney should be pressing charges. Why?
You know what I'm saying?
Because that's domestic violence. I don't care what
it's not about to happen.
No. They're not gonna press no charges, man. Like I said, ain't gonna be no lawsuits, ain't gonna be no charges, so we might as well let that go. Ain't gonna be none of that. Like I said, the Oscars ain't gonna do nothing to Will either.
No,
so
we're taking this way too seriously.
Yeah, let's let that go. But let me circle back to something.
Day at the office for them.
Yeah, let me circle back to something because I still got a problem.
Uh-oh.
So I know we talk a lot on this show about relationships. I know we talk a lot on the show about black men and black women. I got a question about Jada. I got to go there. I gotta go there. Well, let me ask this. I say, well, we got some viewers on the show right now, so we got a lot of ladies watching us right now. From the ladies' perspective, what you are seeing, is this what a wife do with a husband?
What? Say that again.
No, real talk. So what you guys are seeing from Jada as it relates to Will, is this what a wife do to a husband? So no, I'll give you some context. So you're going on red table talks, talking about your husband and your wife's sex life. You're going on red table talks and basically taking pictures with your entanglement affair. You messing around with your son's friend, most likely probably took place in your own house. Like, is this what the modern wife look like in 2022? Like, is this how this? Because I'm like, I was raised around women who held their men down. Like, they wasn't talking about all of their personal business out to everybody. They had their man's back 100 grand strong. And I'm like, I'm confused a little bit. Yep, that's the title. Is Jada the problem? So I really want to hear from the ladies. Like, is this what wives do? Like, is this what are we looking at? Is this right? Is this wrong? Like, somebody, I want Yvonne to respond. Yvonne, what you think about this? Is this what wives do?
Mickey.
Well, I can honestly say that I don't know about what the modern day 2022, because I got married in 1998 and still married right now. But for me and my husband, we have certain boundaries. There are certain things that should not be going on, should not be discussed with other people, should not be. I mean, come on now. And everybody doesn't deserve to know what's going on in your marriage. I'm going to be honest with you. It has no bearing on what somebody else got going on in their life. I mean, if you and your husband have a bond, which you should, there are some things that we're not discussing, we're not talking about. I'm not definitely not throwing you under a bus in front of a million people, talking about, this was something that happened, or we had an affair. And I really was just trying to figure out why that even came out on her Red Table Talk show. Had to think about, was somebody else about to tell it before she did? That kind of thing. Or was somebody writing a book, somebody about to start talking about them? Stuff about to start leaking. Yeah, see, Princey, you thinking about it too, right? Somebody is about to come to the forefront about Jada and Will. And so I think that's where all of that came about. But there are definitely, or there should be, some boundaries in a marriage. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that. You want to say something, Chloe?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, yeah, I don't think no, it just shouldn't be. And if you're in Hollywood, which they are, then there's even more. It means more, that much more, right? Because it's already difficult. Like C Prince said, there's only a handful of Black actors that are really doing it out there. I mean, that have made it to that level or made it to that status. And once it's very hard to get there as a Black actress and actor. So when you do, you don't really necessarily need a ton of scandal. You don't need a ton of bad press. You really don't need that, right? And I just feel like maybe she's walked away from show business in that sense, where it's no longer her main means of, that's not really where she at. It's really not where her head, and you could tell. She might dibble dabble, you might see her here and there, but you could tell this is not really where she's at anymore. Before she met Will, she had already confessed that she's about to walk away from all of that whole show business stuff. So she was about to be done with it. So, for her, it might not mean for her what it means for him, but he's still producing and directing and starring in movies and things of that nature. So I just feel like, where is the consideration, right, for that? Now, my perspective for the night, or the point that I'm trying to make, is not in defense of Will. It's not like I'm over here saying, oh, he was right, or it's all Jada's fault. No, there's some accountability on both sides. But I am going to address the topic, and the topic is, is Jada the problem, right? So with that being the question, I really want to come from that angle, because I feel like the slap, we could debate, was it real, wasn't real? I know it wasn't, but at the end of the day, that's not even the biggest problem here. Like the that's not even the biggest issue. Like, how do we get here? How are we even in a situation where we're talking about Will and Jada like this? How are we even in a situation where we know about this young dude that she was with? And it's because she was very public about it. Even before she came out and told about the affair, she walked the red carpet with this guy. Like, she was not, this really wasn't a secret. They just wasn't confirming it to the public. But it wasn't even like she was trying to hide it. This man was writing her long poems and posts on his social media, like love letters and stuff like that. Like, this was very public. We knew before we knew. So it's like, what I'm trying to say here is, no, this is not the conduct of a woman who is in a committed marriage and has been for years. They're not spring chickens, neither one of them. And they've been married for a good little while. And there's just so much dysfunction in that relationship. And I can confidently say that because we're seeing it play out in front of us. Now, do I know all the details of all the things? No, I don't. I'm only speaking on what I can see. And what I can see, I can already see dysfunction. And just what I can see. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is one of those situations where there's a lot to learn from this. Like, this whole mindset, this whole, modern way of thinking, this whole modern marriage, we're gonna make it what we're gonna make it what we want it to be. We're gonna make it work. Y'all seeing a product of what that look like right now. That we're gonna make our marriage fit us, and it's gonna fit our whatever we think we should be, and we're not gonna define and this, that, and the third. Y'all are literally seeing it implode. Please make no mistake about it. Please make no mistake that this isn't imploding. The fact that this woman cannot stay off social media, and she on social media, that ain't even like nobody gave her no network deal. She can't even get on. She can't even get on legit TV. She on social media airing all they dirty laundry. This is where we at. Will has been reduced to doing YouTube TV, best shape of my life. I'm fat. Watch me get fabulous type of stuff. Like, what are we doing? He's 50 plus years old. Like, why is this what he being reduced to? He's an A-list black actor. His name is on a short list. It's like, this is crazy. And his wife is out here having entanglements with children.
Children.
Is she? Yes, children.
I got.
I mean, is she the problem? Yeah.
Yeah.
This whole thing is a problem.
I'm about to tell y'all something. Y'all gonna hate me with it. And I'm gonna tell you this. Jada is not the problem. Absolutely 100% Jada is not the dang problem.
That's your opinion. I got mine.
No, I'm gonna tell you like it was. I'm gonna tell you why she ain't the problem. Because just like a woman is only gonna let a man do to her what she want him to do, the same thing for a man. Understand this. Jada ain't changed who she was when she met him. He knew what she was when he met her. And guess what? He's accepted that. Understand this. The biggest thing he said that I agree with last night or on Sunday is love make you do the stupidest things. I can give him that. You loving somebody that don't reciprocate the same love you have for that person. You trying to win that person's love. Uh-oh. She looking like, yeah. But I'm telling you like this. He's the problem. Because guess what? He keeps going. He keeps allowing this come back to prove how much he loves her. Every mistake he forgives. He's the problem. Jada is not the problem. You know what I'm saying? Just because she live her life the way she want to live it, guess what? Kudos. I applaud her. Do not ever blame somebody that somebody allowed them to live their life and accept it. Hands down. He accepts how she lived because they wouldn't be in the situation they is now. So guess what? You can't have tears on TV because you've been accepted for as long as you have now. Now it's a problem because you smack somebody. Understand this. That's the only problem. It's like you stealing the last cookie out the cookie jar. It doesn't matter. Your last action defines who you are. And guess what? Jada has always been the person she is. So guess what? It's not her fault. That man allowed her to live her lifestyle, and he accepted it, and now he's having a mental breakdown, or whatever you want to call it. Love, I don't care. Guess what? He's embarrassed. His pride is hurt. So guess what? Jada pride ain't hurt.
No, because she the one embarrassing him.
No, she ain't embarrassed him. He embarrassed himself.
Because
he allowed it.
She been embarrassing him, see, Prince.
He allowed it. He could have walked away.
She's been embarrassing him. She's been embarrassing this man. And I don't disagree with you. That he has accountability. I'm never taking that away from him. He absolutely has accountability in this. But that's not the question that we're asking. We're asking, is Jada the problem?
No, she's not.
I disagree. I respectfully disagree.
No, she's not.
Okay. All right. We'll take that. Is that Vince? Vince, is that you, man?
Hello, sir. How are you, panel?
Hold on. I want to say something.
Oh, Mickey, say something.
Here go Mickey. We're going to let Mickey go first. Then we're going to come to you, Vince. Go ahead, Mickey.
Okay. So I just want to add to what Chloe is saying, basically about her being accountable for her actions, and bringing us to this point. I think that a lot of women in today's marriage, they take what their husbands do to them, but they also retaliate in a way that is sneaky, if that makes sense. So I was watching the show yesterday, and this guy has all the allegations of cheating, right? And the wife knows it. Now, whether it's true or not, we don't know. But what does she go? Oh, I'm going to go spend $100,000 on this new business. What you going to say about it? Right? So it's not like, oh, I'm not going to divorce. I'm just going to get my payback. And so for me, I feel like women don't leave because there's so much at stake, but I'm going to find a way to get back at you. And nobody ever talks about, they talk about their open marriage, but I don't think it started out that way. Nobody talks about Will and his infidelity, if there ever was. There might have been. We don't know. I can't, allegedly, of course. But I feel like there was definitely something, because he's been in show business for a very, very long time. I don't think they started off just to be like, oh, we're going to have this open marriage. It's something that she had to eventually come to terms with and agree to. And when the pendulum starts to swing her way, then it looks suspicious or wrong, because oh, well, I'm going to let you do this, or I'm going to let you be out here with another guy, but just don't throw me under the bus. So if I have to keep your image clean, then I'm going to do what the hell I want. Because if she ever came out and said, oh, well, he's a cheater too, or if there never was an open marriage, then he's going to look like the bad guy. So that was her sacrifice to allow him to continue his career in a perfect light. You know what I mean? And I think, as for the red table talk and all the things that she talked about, like for me, that's a separate issue. I feel like her red table talk is helping other women expose their issues, because women don't get to talk about those things. It is, oh, we keep the marriage bed to ourselves. So I think that's her platform for everybody to say, oh, we can talk about it. This is a space for women to be open and share their experiences.
So hold on, wait. So are you saying that women don't get to talk about those issues or those situations, but we feel like that platform is the right platform to talk about how I cheated on my man? Like, is that what we saying?
I don't think that was the right platform to do it.
Okay.
I didn't say she should have did it, but it's just a terrible example. No, she shouldn't have done that. But I'm saying, in the grand scheme, everything is on the hush. Let's keep this in our bedroom. And she probably like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of it.
I'm struggling with that. I'm struggling with that, right? Because we have a situation where a wife has a platform. She goes on the platform and she basically says, and I think it was more of, I'm even call it damage control at that point, right? Because the information that came out, and then they had a conversation about it on the Red Table Talk show. But you literally are coming out on a platform confirming that you had an affair, and and then tried to dress it up as an entanglement, which whatever the heck that is, but literally saying that you had an affair with a young man that was a friend of your child's. And like I said, I'm just allegedly, or I'm just going to take a guess that it may have taken place in the home that you all live in. And I'm like, I struggle with that because once again.
Well, let me be clear. I'm not talking about that particular situation. I'm talking about Red Table Talk as a whole. That particular instance, I believe, was damage control because it was about to come out.
No, I understand that, but the fact that it has the ability to come out, and the fact or the way that it was addressed and approached, is where I see a lot of issue at. And then two, it's almost, I don't know. I feel like it's a little double. But let me swap up for a minute. I'm gonna come back into this because I got more to say on this.
No, say it because I'm right there with you. Like
no, I'm not done yet. I'm just trying to be fair to everybody because I know we got time running. Vince, you still there, man?
Yes, sir.
What you want to say, brother?
To answer the question, yes, it is Jada's fault, but yes, it is Will's fault also. Because if you go all the way back, it's about your picking. And if you understand their relationship from the beginning, and I watched a lot of the Red Table Talk, she always would say, Will was not my type.
Right.
And everybody knows she was in love with Tupac, the thug. Will Smith is the cookie cutter nice guy. And if you looked at her table talk, she was never really satisfied with Will. And I think that, and it's another, couple in the news that just got divorced. And I think it's in your picking because I think we pick and we think people are going to change. People are going to do something different. And I think once they had the children and they built the money up, I think they said, okay, we know we're not really for each other. We like each other. We good friends, but you really ain't what I want and you really ain't what I want. So let's try this open marriage thing and see if we can get some satisfaction from somebody else. Because she didn't cheat with an attorney. She cheated with a mentally abused thug, August Alsina / Tupac.
Wow.
Oh, no, he didn't do that. I know we didn't just do that. I know we just didn't do that.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Yes,
you ain't
yes.
So what Will did, he thugged it out. He thugged it out in front of everybody. I'm a gangster. I'm going to go up there and smack Chris Rock on national TV so my wife can look at me like she looked at Tupac. Come on. There it goes.
That's a deep point, brother. I didn't even think about that. That's deep.
I'm going to say. He just proved my point. He proved my point. Jada is not the problem. Will is.
What? Prince,
He knew.
I think it's okay. I think it's safe to say they are both the problem.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. Because think about this. If you marry somebody, you know that is not with you from the start. That she wasn't going to be with you.
Hold on, Prince. Because what she complained about was him working and not being there for her emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Will was like, this is what I do. So I think she's never satisfied with Will. Because how are you Will is the beta. I'm not gonna say that. Will seems like a good guy on the outside looking in. You don't know what goes on in their personal space, but she was complaining about him taking care of her. And she wasn't getting because, and I've been in these relationships where you just not that guy.
Listen,
you just not.
You're saying the same thing I'm saying, but you're trying to dress it up.
Just not that guy.
You dressing it up because guess what? She wasn't with him from the start. It was convenience. It was something to pass the time. It led to this time from the start. So guess what? If you know you entered in a relationship with somebody who really don't want to be with you, it's his fault because she haven't changed who she is.
But Prince, how are we gonna just say that? Like, first of all, I agree he shouldn't have entered into a relationship with somebody who really wasn't available. She was not emotionally available, okay? So we're not disputing that. Not disputing that. But we're not gonna just sit here and act like she didn't agree to marry this man. We're not gonna sit here and act like she didn't lay up and have 2 kids with him. We're not gonna sit here and act like this woman has not been a very active participant in their relationship. And let me just say this. She said herself, because see, she talked a lot. She talked too much, really. So she admitted herself that she changed. She said that out her own mouth. Why you saying she ain't changed? She out her own mouth said, I changed on Will. She said, Will has had to deal with me and all of my changes. Right. She literally said that out her own mouth. She said, I changed. This woman has been in a punk rock group. She done cut her hair off, did this, did that. She has went through changes. She has admitted that. And she says, Will has had to deal with all of my craziness. So we, just like we don't know exactly what he's put her through, because we don't. Mm-hmm. We don't know what exactly she's put him through either. So we're not going to sit here and say that because he married this woman, and no, he should not have, because she was not available. She was not truly available. But she went into this marriage. She told the story. He called her and said, you about to be with me. She like, okay, and moved. She moved from where she was to be with him. And this woman walked into this situation. She literally walked into it with her eyes open. So we're not going to sit here and say it's all on him. It's not all on him. She's got to take responsibility for it. And the reason why I'm pressing for her to take responsibility in this is because these days, we make a lot of stuff about the man. We make a lot of stuff about the man. And while I believe in everybody owning a role and everybody owning ownership and accountability, and when things work well and when they don't, I'm all about it, spreading it. But at the same time, is she a problem? Yes. Let's stop acting like she's not. Let's stop acting like she's not. This woman, I mean, she's admitted to herself she got issues. That's how you get tied up. Like Vince said, that's how you get tied up with an emotionally abused young man that you supposedly helping. And how'd you help him, sis? How did you helped him right up out his drawers? That's how you helped him, sis. Let's just be honest. Let's be honest. You brought this man was your children's friend. So see, we could talk about this all week. I'm sure Will has had his picadillos. I'm sure he has had extramarital affairs. But guess what? What he hasn't done is let them be public.
Let me say this.
That's what he has not done. So what we can't say about Will Smith, let me just say this, and then I'll let you have it. What we cannot say about Will Smith is that any of his dirt has ever come to the light. But what we can say about her is that she is continually throwing dirt on his name.
Listen to this. I'm gonna say like this. This is what you said. Will Smith told her that you're gonna be with me and you move here with me. The biggest point of this, that Mid's taking charge and he's gonna take charge and take what he wants and get that. I think he did that, knowing that she didn't want to be with him. So he told her, you're gonna still be with me, regardless of what you want. I want you. Hey, history's gonna repeat it. And guess what? No matter what you say, everybody go through changes. Hands down, go through changes. I don't care how crazy she was. She's always been a selfish person. You talking about her actions. She haven't changed from day one. She want to live her life the way she want to live, regardless of her changes. And Will was satisfied until he had it up to here, because now he's like, people laughing at him, take him as a joke as a man. And Quay, you tell him, as a man, we can't take too much of that. You can't take too much of that. So guess what? She's been doing this for years and years and years. Now it just reached a point that he can't take it no more. It's pride. This ain't nothing about protecting, and she's not the problem. And I say that because guess what? If a woman got done like this, we would have said the man only did what she allowed him to do. But now that a woman's doing it to a man, people are like, she's the problem. Understand this. If the versus the reverse, he's just a man. He's just doing what he's doing. He's a dog. But now that this woman's doing this to this man, she's a problem. You can't tell me if that's not a double standard. You tell me what it is.
Man,
That's a double
I,
standard.
I mean, I think they're equally responsible. Jada was more public with it, but let's be honest. If you've ever watched some of those Red Table Talks where Will talks about all of the crap he took his family through, that was a lot. She changed, yes, and he did too, though, because he had huge expectations of not only her but of his children. Had his children want to be in these movies and stuff, and his daughter had to tell him, "We don't want that. You want that. We don't want that type of life. We don't want that type of exposure. That's you." He put all that. He put it on Jada. He put it on his kids. I mean, Will has gone through a lot of things too. So I believe that they're equally responsible for the status of their marriage overall. Just period. Things that she's let him do, things that he's let her do, and now it's just come to a boiling point right now. Like you said, a lot of things that Mickey said, I do agree with. Yes, she had to be the sacrificial lamb, so to speak, so we can keep this money rolling under him as far as how he's perceived by the public. Yes, everybody on this panel know that Will Smith then got jiggy with it with more than just Jada in all these years. So
like,
now,
hold on.
Hold on. No, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. No.
Everybody know that.
We not gonna do that.
Yeah, we gonna do that, Vince. We gonna do that now.
No,
Now.
You are innocent until you are proven guilty.
Wait a minute now.
You are innocent until you are proven guilty. Just because he's a man and he's a millionaire, and there's been rumors out, no one has ever came up. He ain't settled no. Wait a minute. Wait, let me finish. He ain't settled no cases. Find me one. He done settled a case about a woman saying she slept with Will. Not one.
No.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. And my thing is why she got caught. She got caught with the gun in her hand.
But she really wasn't getting caught. He let her do that.
Why is it always? Wait a minute. Why is it always when a woman does something? Always because we don't know what he did. We know what she did.
We know that it was consensual, though. He told her, "Go ahead and do it."
Wait a minute. When did he say go ahead and do it?
Go ahead and do it.
We putting a lot of stuff on here.
Yeah.
My thing is, let's look at the facts. The facts is this boy was and if it was the other way around, he'd be sitting up in jail with R. Kelly.
That's true. Now
if it was the other way around, he'd be sitting in jail with R. Kelly.
That's true.
Let me clarify. So to that, telling him to go ahead and do it. As I understand it, it came out as he quote unquote in some way gave him permission. So that was the wording that was used on the table talk.
Yeah,
I just put that out there.
Also on the table talk, just to be clear, when she brought up that he had also had some extramarital affairs as well, he did agree that he had. So when she said Will has had his share of affairs too, he did agree with her that he had. So he admitted that he had also had some stuff, but he did also say that they agreed that it wouldn't be nobody close to them.
But we
So
ain't got no
basically,
details.
Well, I retract my comment then. Okay.
she broke the
See,
agreement
Vince,
that it
you
would
owe me an
never.
apology, man.
Well,
I said I retract my statement. I said
Okay.
I retract my statement.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
we
know.
forgive you.
Hey,
Hey,
let me
I'll admit
apologize.
when I'm wrong. I'll admit when I'm wrong.
oh, you trying to?
I'm man enough to do
I
that.
ain't never wrong.
No, let me.
That's the problem.
I'm gonna apologize. I want to, Yvonne. I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to the other nominees.
Oh my God!
And
Oh
y'all,
man.
he is actually on Instagram right now with a public apology that he wrote, and he included Chris in this one that he just wrote
Listen
15,
to this.
20 minutes ago. But it took you a whole night and a day to come up with that rebuttal. That's something you should have said last night.
Because he
Listen to
wasn't
this.
sorry.
Hold on. Listen to this. This is what we need to do. We need to start a hashtag and say hashtag smack his ass back. That's what we need to start a hashtag going around, because guess what? If you smack me, you keep apology. You don't keep, because guess what? Every time I see you, it's going to be a situation. And matter of fact, I'm going to keep the bail money in my pocket. The police going to know my name. Like, who is it? Oh, yeah, here he go again. He must have caught him at some jewelry store. Oh, he had dinner. I'm beating him up at the funeral and everything. I do not give a damn. You smack me? Guess what? I don't care. Hey, listen, I'm almost 8. My breasts are getting short on this world. Guess what? I might as well use all them breasts to whoop your butt for smacking me. I promise you we're going to have problems. And there ain't going to be no entanglement. Mike Tyson ain't going to be able to take this butt whooping I'm going to give you. I'm going to beat the bricks off of you and your children, dig up your dead relatives and smack them. That's how it's going to go down. I'm
I understand. Well, like I said, I know we done creeped over that time a little bit. Like I said, I think that this was a needed conversation, right? I've been seeing all of the posts going back and forth. And this is the other thing that I've noticed that always bothers me, right? When these type of situations come up, it turns into these fights for us. Yeah, I've been looking at black women going at black men all day. I've been looking at black men going at black women all day. It's just been so much stuff going on, that has kind of transpired from this situation. And I think that's just something we got to be careful with, because this really don't even have nothing to do with us directly. Now, does it affect us as a whole? I think you can say that, right? Because there was a lot of things that were wrong with this situation. You know what I'm saying? As a man, you are taught to carry yourself maturely. You're taught to communicate. You're taught to, let the violence or the aggression be the last resort. And I can't say that that's what we saw. So for a lot of people, some of our teaching was disregarded, right? So this can send out mixed messages to the young fellas out here and so forth. So yeah, it's a lot. Like I said, I think a lot of the folks, got caught off guard with this situation. But I think the fallout and the things that have happened after it is really where a lot of the concern is at. And then two, a lot of things happened before this situation that got us to this point. So yeah, it's just a lot going on. But like I said, I'm glad we were able to have the conversation on the platform. I appreciate everybody who watched tonight, who joined us tonight. And then two, I appreciate all the grown women. I'm gonna say this before we take closing statements. I appreciate all the grown women that I've been seeing today, that were not in agreement with some of the stuff that they saw, on Sunday's events. I saw a lot of grown ladies, and I'm talking 60s and 70s. Like, nah, that ain't how that's supposed to go. So I appreciate that, because at the end of the day, what I'm saying, we need that input from our quote unquote elders. We need that from the ladies who've been there and done that. Like, we need to see that. And the same with the fellas. I done seen some grown fellas speaking on this as well. And what was wrong and how they would have went about this situation. Like I said, I always like to see that, because we need that. That voice has been quiet, and we need that back. I think that will help clean up some of this nonsense that's going on out here today that we normalize and like it's okay. So I appreciate that. Like I said, shout out to Sandra Hayes for coming on the show tonight and dropping some comments. But we're gonna take closing statements. I'm gonna hit the ladies first. We'll work our way around. We're gonna go to Chloe. Chloe, you want to say anything in closing before we get out of here?
Yes. Okay. So like I said from the onset, this really wasn't about the smack for me. It was more so about the jewels that we could take from this particular incident. And for me, it's the mindset. And I said that before, and I'm going to say it again. I'll end on that. Like, it's the mindset. Is Jada the problem? Yes. Not because of Jada particularly, but because of the mindset. And what I see is a lot of women taking on the same mindset. The manipulative, the vindictive, the easily offended, the this, and I'm gonna go there because I'm gonna talk about this on my show. This Jezebel spirit that we see running rampant in a lot of women in our community. Like, this is a problem. It's a mindset problem. It's a problem. Like, it's we're at this point now where it's okay. We can justify it all day long for Will to have grinned and bared in the situation, yet nobody has said that Jada should have. Nobody has said that Jada should have put on her big girl panties and just laughed it off because, like Prince said, how many people have told jokes about her in her career? Like, this wasn't the first time. So why was she so extra offended? Why couldn't she laugh it off? Why couldn't she just laugh it off? And then when she saw Chris Rock backstage being like, you weren't right for saying that about me, like, or whatever. Like, why Will should have been the bigger person, right? He shouldn't have smacked them. He shouldn't have said anything. And I'm not saying that you guys are wrong. I'm just simply saying, do we have any expectations for her? It's the mindset for me. And I'm always going to speak to that because that's how we end up in this situation. It's the mindset. So I don't disagree that there's pride is a problem here. I don't disagree that ego is a problem here. I don't disagree that arrogance is a problem, or manipulation, or somebody being too sensitive. I believe all of those are a problem. But while we're just looking at those attributes and attaching them to Will, why aren't we also attaching them to Jada?
Okay, no, we appreciate that. We're gonna go over to Mickey. Mickey, you got anything you want to say in closing?
Yeah, I think the unfortunate circumstance or the fallout that we are experiencing is what is appropriate for a man to protect a woman. And I think in this instance, you have the public watching this play out, and I think their situation is very unique and speaks to why he did that. But as a community and as people in the public, no, it's not okay. Like, you need to be able to handle that differently. And now there's this fallout of, oh, your man won't bust a grape, shut up. Like, that's not what this was. There's a difference between protecting your spouse from danger. You were not in danger, right? So that's where I kind of get upset about, because people now, oh, if your man don't defend you like this, then it's a problem. Like, no,
right?
Let's not do that, because I would rather my grown husband use his words. I really would.
Yeah.
And I don't want people out here just taking that and, oh, you need to speak up for me, and you need to, like, you weren't in danger. You weren't in any imminent real danger. That's when I want my husband to come to my defense, when there's an actual real threat.
Right.
Other than that, it's all games. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that comment. And I think in most situations, right, if a man, especially a real man, if he identifies some imminent danger, then it ain't gonna be no talking. And I'm sure C. Prince can attest to that and agree with me on that. If a real man identifies some danger that is coming his woman's way or his family's way, it ain't gonna be no talking. Ain't none of that going on. That's gonna get handled, and that's gonna be the end of it. So now I appreciate you saying that, because I have been seeing those comments. So now I appreciate that. Yvonne, you still with us?
I'm still with you. It's 14 minutes past my bedtime, but I'm still with you.
We can say, you want to say anything closing before we get off here?
I just think that they just need to do a better job. We need to do a better job with not actually just jumping on them, and not really hearing the whole full story about really what's going on. But they need to do a better job, because people look up to them still, no matter what. Even though they still have their problems, their issues, people still look up to Will and Jada, believe it or not. And a certain they have expectations that they need to live by, just because of who they are and what they do.
Mm-hmm.
um so that's all I gotta say about that. Yeah.
All right, now we appreciate that. Now, let's say they're definitely role models to a lot of folks. So you definitely have to, I think you definitely have to have some care around, how you present, how you move, how you execute, because let's say you are a role model, in the public space like that. So I appreciate that. All right, Vince, you want to say anything in closing, man, before we get out of here, brother?
I think this also speaks to the way Black men handle their emotions, uh,
Fact.
and how we are not able to really handle our emotions in public. I look at this case, I look at the Juwan Howard case, I look at a lot of cases where men have not been taught how to handle their emotions effectively. And I think Will, in my personal opinion, I think he did this for some street credibility, with his wife. I think that she made him feel like he wasn't protecting her, maybe. And this was him showing her that I'll protect you at the ultimate cost of my profession, of my being able to provide, because this could have went a whole nother way.
Right.
But I'm waiting on the Chris Rock Netflix special.
Facts.
Because personally, I don't think he's gonna take this land down. I think he come from the school of Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, and I think he gonna clown him.
I can see it.
And get paid.
Facts.
And he gonna have the last laugh and the last smack.
For sure.
And he is going on tour with Kevin Hart. Y'all know that, right?
There it is.
So be
There it
looking
is.
for it. 'cause
Selling out everywhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Hey, you know what, Vince? Let me ask you a quick question, man, before we go to see Prince for closing, man. What do you say? Question to you, Vince. What do you say to all the ladies that have been saying today in the comments that if my man don't do what Will Smith did, I don't want him? What's your response to them, Vince?
I think that's the over glorification of this thug life mentality that started with this gangster rap, and I want a thug, and I need a street guy. So I think that's just the culture. I mean, everybody want a thug professional. If they want the swag of Tupac and the smarts of Jay-Z. But most people are one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. There it is.
100%.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. See Prince. Man, close it out. Get it off your chest, man. What you want to say?
Listen.
You Vince, cause he over there eating something good and ain't trying to share.
Well, my wife cooked for me, Mickey.
Uh-oh. Let me put Vince on mute. See, here y'all go.
What is it? He over there scraping the plate, licking the bowl.
Hey, my wife throw down. I ain't have to stop at McDonald's.
Here you go. All right, Vince, you're on mute, man. You're on mute.
All right, I'm sorry about that. I thought I had muted my mic. I'm sorry.
You good, man. All right, go ahead, see Prince.
Look, man, I'm gonna say it like this. I'm very rarely saying his name. I said a lot of harsh things about Will Smith based on his actions. I don't know this man personally. Don't know. But I can only base my opinion on his actions that he showed us. Because before I used to talk about, Will Smith's that dude. You know what I'm saying? He does that music, longevity. He's doing his thing. Because you think about any entertainer from that era that he came from, they're not around. So He's handling his business. You know what I'm saying? But there's always a but. When you go outside your character and you took the biggest achievement of your life and tarnished it by your actions. How bad did you really want that? Because guess what? You go up there to put on a show just in case you lost. Understand that just in case you lost, but now you won, you got to apologize for the actions that you did. You see what I'm saying? So he wasn't even expecting to win, to be honest. Because I guarantee if he knew he was going to win, he wouldn't have went over to smack that dude.
Right.
Understand that. He had been humbled and laughing, and she had been laughing too. But the sad thing of the matter is this. Everybody is going to give this man a pass because he's Will Smith. Because he's Will Smith. You think about all the young black men that don't get a pass because of their standards in life. In the ghetto, they don't come from money and stuff like that. I don't care what their color is. But you're going to give this man a pass. And then guess what? I don't care if you're a politician, police officer, whatever you call yourself. If you give him a pass, don't go back to these projects. Don't go to these hoods. Don't arrest these children for assaulting somebody. Because you let this grown man, and everybody gonna be like, oh, you kind of hard. But guess what? Will Smith ain't doing his time. Will Smith ain't filling these prisons. Hands down, he's not filling them. But yet and still, he's the role model that these kids are following. Hands down, we're going to look at it. We're going to say it like this. I don't care if Jada's the problem. He's a man of his own actions. He's accountable for his own deeds. Let's look at it like from the point of view. He accepted that woman. I don't care how much hell she put him through. He loved that woman. And guess what? You can't sit there and say, well, love made me do this. No, your pride made you do this. And let's start there. Let's be truthful. Because guess what? Pride put a lot of men in jail. And your black butt should be in there too.
There it is. Well, yeah, I'm going to say this in closing. Just two things. You know, I made a post about this. Yes, I think that was yesterday. I made a post about this, and I'm pretty sure that this year's Oscars were probably the highest rated ever. Yep, a situation where we had two black men embarrassing themselves on national TV for the world to watch. To my fellas, don't put yourself in these situations. If at the end of the day, when we have a situation where folks are literally profiting off your downfall, don't put yourself in that situation. Don't even do it. If I guarantee you these will be the highest rated Oscars in history. And it's all based off of Will, Chris, and Jada. And I throw Will Packer in there for producing. Yep, don't put yourself in this situation. It's a lot of cats looking up to you. Don't put yourself in this situation. So I'm going to make that point. And then the second point I'm going to make before we get ready to get out of here is to the ladies. Yep, if you are with a man that protects, provides, and cares for his family, don't put him in no situation like this. Because he has everything to lose as the protector and the provider for that family. Yeah, we talk about black women being the most unprotected. Yeah, we talk about that all the time. Black women being the most unprotected. But there's way too many situations where men are in unnecessary situations because of bad decisions from the women that they are with. And we need to cut that mess out because once again, this is the provider and the protector for the family. He has everything to lose, protecting and providing for his family. So don't even put your man in this type of situation to where he got to even be dealing with this type of mess. because now everything is on the line. Yeah, but this is going back to my question earlier. Is this what a wife does? Better yet, is this what a husband does? So, man, we got to get this stuff in check. Because, I mean, this particular situation can help us all avoid some nonsense that none of us need to be dealing with. Yeah, real talk. So we need to take the jewels and the gems out of these conversations and move accordingly. So I'm going to leave it at that. But shout out to everybody who joined us tonight. Shout out to Chloe C. Prince. Shout out to Yvonne. Shout out to Mickey. Shout out to my guy Vince for stepping on the panel with us tonight. Like I said, we do this show typically every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday night. But we had to do a special episode tonight because of what was going on. And we had to talk about it because at the end of the day, it needs to be talked about on a platform where everybody can be vocal with their perspectives. Everybody can go back and forth collectively, agree to disagree, whatever it may be, but let's have the conversation in a healthy, safe space. And we were able to do that tonight, and I appreciate everybody for joining us. But like I said, we do the show every Wednesday night, 8:30. So I need everybody to share the show, like the show, spread the word, let folks know, come join us. We're always having these conversations, trying to move us forward. So, man, with that being said, everybody have an awesome night, and we will catch you guys next Wednesday.
Okay, bye.